Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Make sure you hit the likety like button on the way in. Hit the like and hit the hype for your girl. All right, so I haven't done a the WTF weekly in a while, and we have a lot to talk about. So yeah, let's get started. But first things first, I hope you guys had an amazing Christmas. I believe Kwanzaa has now officially started. If I'm not mistaken, today I don't celebrate Kwanzaa, but whatever you celebrate, I hope you had an amazing time with family, friends, or even just yourself, and got plenty of rest. I know I did. I said I was not doing videos. I was just truly just detoxing and just enjoying myself and resting and spending time with family. So that was my main focus. So I hope you guys had a marvelous, marvelous holiday. So yeah, let's get started with her. So as you guys know, I asked you guys if you wanted me to actually preview Married to Medicine. Most of you guys said no. But I have now been watching it just for leisure, just enjoying myself, just watching something without reviewing it. And Toya showed her entire behind yet again with how she treats her husband. I hope you guys have either seen it. If not, definitely watch it. I mean, if you guys want, I can actually play for you what was said. But I'll just say this. Now, all of this is my opinion, entertainment purposes only. But in a nutshell, I don't think Toya likes Eugene. I think Toya sees Eugene as a means for financial gain. That's it. That's all. I can almost probably guess that in Toya's past relationships, a Eugene was not in the picture at all. This is the first time she's ever dealt with a Eugene in her life. And it was calculated purposely because he was a doctor. She knew he was going to be something. She knew that he was going to take care of her regardless on how she treated him. Okay. So, but the problem is this is not the first time. This is not the first time that Toya has treated Eugene like garbage. I don't know if you guys remember when she said, boy, you better sit up there and eat that biscuit or whatever, pretty much telling him to shut the hell up. That was like, I want to say the first 2 or 3 seasons where she did that. So this is not the first time that she's pretty much represented that he's a little short man in more ways than one. But this time around, Toya actually had some type of party, but it was really more of a housewarming party. I think she said it was a no work day party, but it was literally a housewarming party. Now, the problem with Toya is what we do know from Toya's background and what I remember is that Toya grew up very poor. Okay. She definitely was in poverty growing up. And I think she even cried about that during a reunion about how she never wanted to live like that or whatever the case may be. It is very, very clear she is still traumatized by that. I need for her to seek some counseling. Counseling works wonders. Okay. And I don't think she had her father in her life. I don't remember her mentioning a father. I definitely remember her mentioning a mother. So at the end of the day, I think Toya has a very different view set of what a man is and what a man is supposed to be. And she just sees them as a means to get what she wants. Not that they are actually people, humans. And she treats Eugene like he is garbage to her unless he is financially giving her something that she needs. So, but also the problem is that she still cares too much about what people think, especially about her financial situation. Toya also is the type of person like so many others on this show. And I'm like, at this point, is this just in the Atlanta water? Like, what in the hell? but she is definitely the type of person where she can talk to people however she wants. She lacks accountability, but the moment someone gives her the same type of energy or even a little bit of the energy that she gives out, she doesn't know how to take it. So she was worried about how these women that she claimed aren't really her friends anyway were going to perceive like the new home, and just worried about that. And I'm thinking, like, why the hell do you care? Like, at a grown woman your age, in your 40s at this point, why do you care what they think? They've already clowned you about the multiple houses before. You already know the things that they talk about and how they get down. Why do you care at this point? Do you like the house? Does your husband like the house? Does your kids like the house? Who cares? So in my opinion, she already was high strung in the first place. Toya has always been high strung for me, but she was definitely high strung. Some people were saying she was drunk. I don't think she was drunk. I just think she was just high strung, just doing a little bit too much. When they have the party, she has the party. Mimi decides to take a napkin and like sit down and put the napkin down and sit on the napkin. But mind you, the napkin is so freaking small, it ain't really doing much. But Toya took offense by that and was like, this ain't Heavenly's house. Like, she was just really on one. And she is just constantly sensitive about what these girls think, even though she's making it seem like Eugene is the issue when it comes to that. Hell no, she's the issue when it comes to that. She wanted to play a game, and none of them really wanted to play a game. And even Eugene was like, I'm about to write a doctor's note pretty much saying, hey, you know what I'm saying? We not about to play this game, but they don't want to play the game. I got y'all. Don't worry about it, fellas. And she goes into a 10 hut mode as if she's talking to a dog. And she's like, Eugene, I need what I need from you, or what a wife needs from you. Eye contact, please. And I was like, eye contact? Like, I do that with my damn dogs. Look at me. Look at me. Eye contact, eye contact. I do that with my dogs. So, what do you mean eye contact? And he was like, what? And he was like, you can continue to talk and keep moving. She's like, oh, you want to be hard? You want to be hard? And then she continues on and says, can you please lead like a man? It was kind of like a man is supposed to, and lead your friends like you're supposed to lead this household. Something that was just really inappropriate. And so Heavenly, of course, at that point, finding any way to get into a situation is like, oh, come on now, Toya. Now you doing too much. And the thing is, I actually agreed with Heavenly. And y'all know I don't agree with that demon. You know I don't agree with her. And she was like, come on now, you doing too much. And Mimi is chiming in. And yes, they was all instigating the situation. But let's be clear, if you would have never given them anything to hop onto or to sit up there and attack and criticize, they would have never been able to do anything in the first place. Now, me personally, I have been in situations where my friends have gone back and forth with their significant others. It has been very awkward. I mind my business. Okay, I mind my business, because one thing about it is, if you start interfering in it, then they're gonna start coming at you. You just mind your business. Now, as long as nothing crazy is going on where I feel like my friend needs to be protected, I'm gonna mind my business. And depending on how crazy it gets, I may even leave. Okay, but this is also a TV show. This is also a TV show. So Toya, you gave them straight up opportunity to criticize you and your marriage. Furthermore, she started the whole situation also when she texted in the group chat, whose fake bag is this? Who fake Birkin bag is this? Toya is so materialistic and so like extreme. She looks great, but at the same time, why wouldn't you look great when literally your job is to take care of the household and to look good? Like, you have so many, like, your kids are not babies anymore. They can wipe their own butt. They can literally cook their own food at this point. They can do what they need to do. One of them is pretty much driving at this point. You're giving him driving lessons. So, yeah, you've got plenty of times to go to the spa, get your hair done. You can do all of that stuff. So, but yeah, she does look great. But she is so materialistic because I feel like that's the only thing she really has, is to focus on the money and the material side. It was really unnecessary for her to say whose fake bag is this, because one, why do you care if it's a fake bag or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you even care? So, like, to me, Toya, again, she's the type to start something, but she's not the only one, because a lot of them do that. She wants to start something, but when they come back at her, she doesn't know how to take it. The way that she talked to Eugene tried to go in there to talk to her after she was done talking about she's done with Eugene, because of course Eugene didn't just go on her command. He goes in there to try to talk to her, and he says, look, the other women felt the same way, that you was just doing too much. And she said, F them bitches. And I'm thinking like, well, if it's F them bitches, then why do you have them at your house, and why do you care what they think? If it's really F them bitches, why do you care? Because if I'm truly on some F them bitches, they ain't gonna be at my house. Now, granted, we understand that this is a show, but at the same time, the way that you handle situations in this is you pop right back off at them and make it seem like that you're not bothered by what's going on. She was extremely bothered by what was going on. And the reality is she doesn't know how to take accountability with how she acts. She tried to say Eugene was being embarrassing. And I'm like, no, dear, you were being embarrassing. You were embarrassing your husband, making it seem like he was some type of child. As far as I see it, I think Toya verbally abuses Eugene. Like, I really, really do. Like, I think she knows that she can do a lot with Eugene and get away with it, because Eugene is not the type to buck up to her. And I'm not meaning buck up in like a DV way, but sometimes certain people just need to be told to shut the hell up. And Eugene doesn't have that in him, and Toya knows that. And she feels like she is the it girl or the person in the relationship, that he has a dime piece on his arms, and she knows that Eugene feels that way. Eugene probably never had a girl as pretty as Toya ever. I don't think she doesn't like him. I mean, she even was talking about his little wee-wee, that, you know, she didn't realize it didn't grow when they got married. And even if she was playing, this is you on national television in front of millions of freaking people. She don't like him. I'm pretty sure that he ain't even blowing her back out. Sorry to be graphic, but it is what it is. I am sure, and we already know that she has definitely had moments where she's talked about her self-motivation with the shower, if you know what I mean. I am sure she gets off on that more than with Eugene. She does not like that man. That man is means for her. And I'm sure growing up very poor, like she claims she grew up very poor, she said she needs to do things differently. And instead of going with the man that she actually really, really liked and was attracted to, she needed to find a man that was going to be madly in love with her and in awe of her, and that he was going to be in love with her more than she was in love with him. And that's why she has control of the relationship the way that she has it. I be damned. You got sons that probably see this show. You got sons that friends probably see this show. The way that you talk to that man is ridiculous. And you better hope that Eugene don't ever get to the point where he realizes that he is really the catch in the relationship. Eugene can find another Toya. Toya can't find another Eugene. Guaranteed that. Because let's be clear, there's a lot of girls on here who are just as beautiful as Toya in Atlanta, and they can't find a Eugene. If Eugene starts smelling himself just a little bit, just a smidge, and he decides to put her in her place, or better yet, leave her altogether, Toya will not be able to find another Eugene. And not to mention, sorry y'all, in the background, the puppy is playing. Not to mention, Them kids are getting older. 18 is coming soon. So at the end of the day, yeah, she checks his phone, but that don't mean that's the only phone. He is a doctor. We ain't gonna pretend like he can't get another phone that she won't know nothing about. But again, I don't know if that's in Eugene to do, because I think he truly, truly cares for Toya, and he seems like the type that he doesn't want to hurt her, or he doesn't want his kids to look at him in a certain way. But they are in Atlanta, which is Thought City. There are girls who look better than Toya, will do more and treat him like a king than Toya. Toya is just getting flat out ridiculous with how she's treating Eugene. It makes no sense how she's treating him. I was disgusted. I was appalled by it. And I was just like, this don't even make no freaking sense. This makes no sense. And she didn't apologize. Now, we'll see in the next episode if she apologizes. But again, she lacks accountability. It's everyone else. It's never her. And I can't stand people like that. I can't stand people with nasty, rude attitudes and demeanors. And then they want to sit up there and get mad that someone finally gives them the same energy, but they don't ever realize or say, you know what, maybe how I come across is wrong. It's always the other person. Those are the type of people that I stay away from. Like, stay the hell away from me. You lack accountability. You're a narcissist. Just stay away from me. Toya always has been mean to Eugene at times and very materialistic. Is he still working at the long distance from their home? Yes, he is. And that's another thing too. He works 5 hours away. And when he works that far, he stays in a hotel for like a week or so and then comes back. And she's been complaining about that. Like, I need you home. And that's one thing too. She was in an interview saying she needs affirmation. She needs her husband to tell her that she's pretty or she looks good, which also plays into, I feel like there's some insecurities there. But honestly, I don't blame Eugene. Eugene, it purposely probably took that job because he needs a break from you. He needs a break from you, sweetheart. And so at the end of the day, but again, will she check herself on that? No. But yeah, he probably has done that, even though he says he works less hours and he gets paid more. He just has to work 5 hours away, so he has to have a hotel. She misses seeing him, even if it's a quick second, going to bed at night or whatever the case may be. She missed seeing him. But again, you are a pill. You are high strung. Like, you seem like the type that complain all the time. I don't blame Eugene to want that long distance job. I don't blame that man to want that long distance job. And he's probably going to keep it as long as he possibly can to just get a break from you. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because again, there have been certain highlights this season thus far, from Simone to Toya. And these are all of the OG people so far, the OG folks. Toya, in my opinion, she is just getting worse and worse with how she comes at Eugene. Worse and worse. And even if she had anxiety over what the girls were going to think about her home, you don't treat the man who helped you get that home like trash in front of these bitches that you claim you don't care about in the first place. And it's just like, and my thing is, exactly, she complains and still not doing anything. Exactly. If you are complaining so much about him being away from home, then you need to make drastic changes where he can be closer to home and maybe work less hours so you can be at home. But she doesn't want to do that. Because see, I'm going to tell you right now, Toya gives me the vibes that my money is my money, your money is my money. I am sure Eugene is paying all of them bills still in that house, and Toya keeps her Married to Medicine money and any other money that she brings in from the businesses that she has. The most that she's probably done was put money in that house. But she definitely gives me the vibes that she does not split any bills or pay any bills in that household. And if that's how they want to do it, that's fine. But the reality is she gets a very, very, very handsome check from Married to Medicine. I wouldn't be shocked if she's at least getting $500,000 per season, which a lot of times that's more than a doctor can even make. So at the end of the day, I just wonder how much of that money, though, is she spending towards Eugene in that household. Makes you wonder, right? But yeah, so with that being said, Toya, at the end of the day, but again, Toya feel like her poom poom is platinum, and she feels like, because clearly this has been 18 years in the making, she can treat Eugene how she wants to treat Eugene, and nothing's going to happen. It really also makes me wonder how Eugene's family feels about Toya, too. I really want to know how they feel about Toya, especially his mama. I bet you the mama can't stand her. But anyways, let's move on. Whoo, child. I don't know if y'all heard about this. Let's talk. Now, this is Elijah, aka Ellis, aka Keyshia Cole's brother, the little brother, the baby of the family. As we know, Frank the Bank, holla, had like 50,000 kids. And apparently he is the baby of that ghetto Brady bunch. All right. And he decided to vent his behind off. About his family. Now, y'all gonna have to let me know if y'all want to have several days where we actually watch it together. Because let me tell you something, it was that entertaining that I have no problem watching it again. This is not like a who the F that I marry type of situation. One thing about this young man, he is very engaging. He is very entertaining when he talks. There was definitely some editing in there also. But when I tell you he has a part 1, part 2, and a part 3 so far. They're all over an hour and a half. And yet I literally listened the whole time without pausing. That's how engaging he was with his story. Okay. I would highly recommend it. If you guys want me to, we can definitely do it like sometime next week if y'all want to, and we can actually talk about it and listen to it together. But he decided to spill a lot. First things first, he was a closed adoption. He's an amazing storyteller, Ruby. Amazing storyteller. He had a closed adoption. So he didn't even know that he was adopted. He found out how he was adopted based off of 2 things. One, seeing his birth certificate that didn't have his mother's name. It had Frankie's name on it. But then further, also that, remember the show Keyshia Cole, The Way It Is, which I watched that show faithfully. That show was good as hell. Apparently he got talked about on the show. They mentioned him on the show, and all of a sudden everybody at his elementary school or junior high school was in uproar because they was like, oh my gosh, you're famous. They're talking about you. Keyshia Cole is your sister. And that's how he kind of found out. And after that, him trying to find his family took him through hell and back. Y'all got to listen to it. But a couple things that stood out to me. He mentioned he got SA'd by an uncle from the Coles family. And instead of them protecting him, they didn't protect him. Y'all got to listen to that. Allegedly, Nefertiti apparently did something very sus to Sammy, one of the brothers. That was quite interesting that he put out there, where I was like, whoa. Now he said he don't know if it's true or not, but that's what he was told. But he also mentioned that Keyshia is a bitch, and I'm just gonna put it out there that Keyshia is a bitch. Just very mean-hearted, mean-spirited. But honestly, I've heard that about Keyshia even in her coming up days out here in LA. When she was just getting started, Keyshia even had a reputation then. She had a reputation then. So when he said that some of the things that she said and how mean-spirited she was even towards him, you know what I'm saying? Like literally just, him, for example, saying, hey, I'm about to graduate. Would you like to come? The thing that she said to him, to me, and I don't want to give spoiler alerts. I want you guys to actually watch it. Yes, it's on YouTube. I think he has a TikTok too, if you guys just want to watch him on TikTok, if I'm not mistaken. He talked about Elite and how Elite was trying to pretty much kick Sammy out of the whole funeral when Frankie passed But furthermore, how he was very honest about him being on OF, only you know what, at one point, and how he would take, some risque pictures, and how he's claiming allegedly that Elite decided to take those pictures and send it to his job out of spite because he didn't take Elite's side over the situation with Sammy when it came to Frankie's funeral. So, Ruby, take that down. I'm about to take it off. I don't promote other people. You guys find it for yourself. Find it for yourself. That is one of the guidelines that I have on there. Let me remove that. But yeah, it's not hard to find. It's not hard to find. I don't promote other pages. I don't do that. But with that being said, and if I do, then I do it myself. But yeah, so with that, but again, I want you guys to also support his page too, because he has a page. So try to find it also on his page as well. No, it's all good, but I want you guys to go and support him. But yeah, but with that, when I tell you, he really went into crazy detail. But also the fact that his adopted mother was really trying to protect him, and he should have listened. But when I tell you, it's an emotional roller coaster. Like, it's like you're going through the motions with him, where you're like laughing at certain points, mad at certain points, getting teary-eyed at certain points, because it was very emotional for him to talk about it and his journey. And I don't think he's still done. I think he's just on part 3. I think we about to get 50 plus parts possibly. And for him to be the baby, his story is healthy. Okay, he has lived 50 different lives. Do you hear me? Just one freaking part 1. I was like, damn, he done probably went through more in this part 1 than most people have gone through in their lifetime. But shout out to Elijah. Shout out, I think his name at birth was Ellis. Now, interesting enough, allegedly, Frankie and Neffy's father is also his father. I don't know if a blood test was actually done. I don't know how true that is. To be quite honest, I really still feel like Frankie don't know who half of them kids' daddies are, which is perfectly fine. She was on the ooh-wee, and apparently she was also on the street doing her ooh-wee. So I'm sure she's guessing a lot of times, but I don't know if it was actually like a test was done, but allegedly he's saying Frankie and Neffy's father, they have the same mother and father. All right. So, but yeah, he went in. And yes, how Frankie passed. That was another one that was quite interesting. Yeah. When I tell you that family, and again, I think we all to a certain extent can relate. And if you guys can't relate, God bless you, because that's an amazing situation. But I know I can relate to toxic family members that you just simply want to just not deal with them at all because they just take you down a rabbit hole of BS and it's draining. And I think he learned the hard way what he had to deal with. But quite interesting story. Again, support this man. Hopefully he gets his own YouTube page also. When I tell you, like, one thing about it, I give credit where credit is due when I genuinely feel that way, not because thousands of other people feel that way. This young man is very entertaining when he tells a story. Very entertaining. And then Elite responded, child. Elite responded. And these are for people who know the Keyshia Cole reality show. Elite responded to him. And honestly, is he lying? I don't know. Of course, she's making it seem like that she had no reason sending the photo, what he alleged that there was no reason to do that because they was already public in the first place. But I'm thinking, like, if it was already public in the first place, why is it that it just so happened to get to his job after y'all started beefing? You know what I'm saying? I think Frankie has 7 kids. I think that she has 7 kids and he's the baby. I want to say it's Nefertiti, Keyshia. Yeah, she responded in part 3, Ruby. Check it out in part 3. Hopefully you guys can find his page. I thought I found his page. If I find it again, because Lord have mercy, I don't know why it's charged to my brain, but I didn't save the link to his actual page. If I find it, I'll put it in my description. But I believe it's Nefertiti, Keyshia, Sammy, Robert, Elite, Tifa, and this one, Ellis. I think there's 7, because remember they were trying to do a reality show called Frankie and the Gang, and it was supposed to be all the kids, and Sammy is the one who put that together. That's on YouTube, and they all talk about where they are, and Ellis, this, and Elijah Ellis, whatever he goes by, he said he's the baby, he's the 7th one. So she has 7 kids. But yeah, she responded. Someone actually on YouTube, and I feel like the name that you put in there, again, you know what I'm saying? You guys look for it yourself. I feel like that person may have put his response to Elite and then Elite's response right after that in part 3. All right, so check that out. But yeah, because of course he wouldn't put Elite. Ellis is not going to put Elite's response on his page, but there's probably a couple people on YouTube now who's putting it all together. So yeah, Neffy and Frankie had a show. Yep, Neffy and Frankie had a show. 7 kids. I just remember Keyshia and her sister. Yeah, she has 7 kids. 7 kids, and she didn't know where most of them were. She only knew where Nefertiti and Keyshia was. The rest of them had got adopted or was in the system. All the rest of them, my understanding, were adopted or were in the system or was getting taken care of by the other side of the family. But when I tell you, and that's another thing too, and I gotta tell you this part before I move on. When he first met Frankie, and which is interesting because when he first met Frankie and first met Keyshia, they both had the same stank little response, just a rude response. Keyshia met him, was like, kind of like, that's the way you looking, that's the way you dressing. Kind of her first time meeting him, it was like, like that, right? But luckily, he's slick with his tongue too. So instead of that breaking his spirit, he kind of came at her the same way with Keyshia or whatever. He meets Frankie. Frankie sits up there and says, I don't have, because Elijah Ellis, I'm going to call him Elijah Ellis, Elijah, he is openly gay. So when he meets Frankie for the first time, now mind you, Frankie always been crying about how she wanted kids. He says that Frankie sees him and says something of the effect of, I don't have a D in the booty son. I do not have a D in the booty son. Y'all know what that D is. In other words, I don't have no gay son. But his comeback, priceless, because he said something like, and I didn't know I was going to have a crackhead for a mama. Woo! Baby, when I tell you, support that young man. Support that young man. His numbers need to go up. And granted, yes, you can support the YouTubers too, but the reason why I'm saying support him directly, his numbers need to go up. He need to make money off of his story, just like anybody else. Let him make money off his story, because baby, his story is quite entertaining. And like I said, I don't think he's done, because part 3, the way that it's shut off, you can tell there's probably going to be another part soon. So support Elijah Ellis. Love your storytelling. Your story is something else, young man, but I wish you much success. And I am sure his family is not going to really like the things that was being said, but oh the hell well. Oh the hell well. Sometimes you got to sit up there and just be honest about your life and don't care what the repercussions are. Don't care what other people think. Because at the end of the day, if they cared what people thought, they wouldn't have treated you like that in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's move on to... All right, y'all. In my neck of the woods, California, let's talk about it. I have really been trying to process a lot that's been going on out here. So before we get to the bigger case of it all, I find this interesting that, and I understand that this gentleman wasn't as famous as Rob Renner, but even still, I find it interesting that literally not that far away from each other, this happened literally within a week's difference, week's time, 6 days to be exact. I believe the way you pronounce his name is Jubilant Sykes or Skykes or something like that. Y'all know I butcher names. He was unalived by his son, December 8th in Santa Monica. Now, he is a Grammy-nominated opera singer. And I heard this story. Beautiful family. I don't know if he has daughters. I know he has sons. And I heard about the story that's happened in Santa Monica. Apparently something happened and his son unalived him by poking him. And you know what I mean by the sharp object. And I was devastated. I said, what the heck is going on? Now, apparently his son has mental health issues. Apparently he was allegedly diagnosed with schizophrenia. And so just in the process of trying to process this, and apparently his wife was there. I know that had to be devastating 50 times over, just with trying to process this in Brentwood of all places. And I'm sure y'all know, the ones who are definitely my age or older, Brentwood had something else happen back in 94 in Brentwood. OJ, hello. In Brentwood, December 14th, Rob Reiner, who has 40 plus years in the Hollywood game, has actually done so many movies. I believe he did When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men. One of my favorite he did was Misery with Kathy Bates. I mean, this man has had a history. He was unalived by his son, Nick. Now, I'm sorry. There are just certain people, when you look at them in their face, you just feel there is a dark energy and something is not right. Baby, when I saw Nick's picture, I said, yes, something is not right. But let's have an honest discussion here, you guys. And one thing about it, I don't play when it comes to mental health. However, from what I have seen so far, and again, I haven't done a deep dive to where journalists do a deep dive. I've done some dives. What I have found is that people were nervous in the family about potentially what these young men could do. But what I have not found is, did they have a history of this type of stuff with other people? Did they have a history with people outside their family being violent or being this way towards other people? And if no, does mental health only center around family? Or are you actually doing this towards family? Which is really making me wonder at this point, like, what's going on here? Now, apparently he has definitely had issues with homelessness, addiction, but here's the problem. Allegedly, after he did this to his parents, both of them, he checked himself in to a very nice beach hotel. Literally right after this happened. Is that mental illness, y'all? And I'm saying that in sincerity. I'm not making fun of mental illness. I'm trying to figure out who has it and who's playing it up to do what they're trying to do. Because my thing is this. Usually if you have a history of violence, not just with family, but with other people. And I haven't seen that as of yet. Now, for me, it's almost coming off to play this up to where I don't know if this man is going to spend the rest of his life in prison. I think they're going to put him in a psych ward. I think that's what they're going to do. I don't know. Just something tells me, because they're already playing it up that way, saying the first two people who will forgive him is his own parents. Now, the daughter found them. And from my understanding, she's having a hard time. But apparently when the daughter found them and called, one of the first people that she said did it was her brother. She said her brother. So that told me that he had probably made some comments or did some things before. Now, they apparently got into it at a party prior to this happening, that where everybody in that party heard the argument. So to me, this is coming off almost premeditated. And then you decide to check your behind into some beach resort. Nice beach resort. Clearly with his parents' money. Because he clearly ain't got no job. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Leo. Thank you. If you're not in your right mind, but you end up checking yourself into some lavish hotel, you're coming off as a spoiled kid who didn't get his way, and now you can use this as a way for you to get out of spending the rest of your life in a freaking San Quentin or something like that, being someone's biatch. That's the way that it's coming off. Now, I don't know about Jubilant's situation or whatever the case may be, but my thing is, typically from what I have seen, when people have a severe mental illness and they're not taking their medication, anyone can get it. It's not just family. It's not just parents, but anyone can get it, including themselves. You know what I mean? So the fact that I'm not seeing that history, and again, maybe, because they both come from means and money, they were able to hide that history. But at this point, I'm thinking that would be all over the place. They're saying they don't know the motive still, from my understanding, but I'm thinking, like, where's the history outside of the family? And if it's just in the family, this seems very centered, which means that your mental illness is only triggered in the family household. It's not, something's not adding up. It's not making any sense. And again, maybe my doctors who listen to me, who actually deal with patients who have schizophrenia, and and again, let's also understand, we don't know what was going on in that household, because we don't know. We could be dealing with a Menendez part 2. Don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it seems to be that their mental illness is very centered. Very centered. Unless somebody can find me some more information about them doing this multiple different ways, multiple times, and maybe the family had the means and the money to hide things and pay off people that they did to other people. I don't know. But it's scary that both of these situations happen with the sons doing this to the parent or parents within 6 days of each other. Jubilant was December 8th. They found Rob and his wife literally December 14th. Literally Santa Monica, Brentwood, all LA County. Scary. Scary. But if I can be honest, I can't feel bad for Nick, or I forgot what Sykes' son's name was. I feel like it was Micah or something like that. I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for them to literally slaying your parents. Yeah, but again, let me take that back. I don't know what happened in the household. Because one thing about it is everybody was looking at the Menendez brothers like they was just some spoiled, entitled brats too. Because let's be clear, they also was spending money. This is what I said, especially with this Nick situation, this is like a Menendez 2.0. Remember, they started spending money too when them parents was gone. But then we found out later, now some people still claim they don't believe the story, but we found out later that there was a lot going on in that household. And the reason why I say Menendez 2, part 2, is because both Rob and, remember, the Menendez father were both in the industry. Remember, the Menendez father was in the industry, and Rob, definitely a big name in the industry for over 40 years. Now, everybody's saying how much of a great guy he was versus the Menendez father. No one really came to his defense saying how much of a great guy he was, but both of them work in the industry. So maybe I'll hold my judgment. But the problem is that in this day and age, it's just, you don't know what to believe anymore, because people lie without a conscience. Like, people will lie and just sociopath type of stuff. So I'm praying that the truth comes out. Like the truth, the real truth comes out. And like we're not getting fed some propaganda BS and that the real truth comes out. But it's insane that this all happened within a week of each other in December, right before the holidays. It's crazy. It's crazy. But prayers to the family, both families. This is definitely where they all need to consistently go to counseling and constantly talk about this, because this is something I can't even imagine. Like all of them had siblings. So now you don't have a parent or both. You don't have both of your parents. And then you have a sibling that allegedly did it. And it's like, do you even have a relationship with that person anymore? Like, it's very interesting. I wondered if something happened to him and he told his parents that nothing was done, perhaps. That's what I'm saying, Leo. But I'm just saying I want the truth out. I want the truth. Because again, you know, in the lands of social media now and AI and definitely the land of storytelling of Hollywood, sometimes you just don't know what's true and what's not true. So I'm praying that the truth comes out. And speaking of truth, speaking of being exposed, yeah, let's talk about it. Nicki Minaj. The tether. Oh, let me take a little drink. So, Nicki Minaj came out in her Sunday's best with her black weave, no color, you know what I'm saying, just very modest. Came out and actually came to a Turning Point USA event and spoke to Erica Kirk, clapping and slapping hands with her. She is supposed to represent, I guess, all black people in America. She don't effing represent me. I told y'all, and I'm gonna keep saying this. I told y'all, don't trust these celebrities. I told y'all that the way those numbers was going when the votes came in for Trump, that don't be shocked that some of these people, especially celebrities who was trying to make it seem like publicly they was for Kamala, was low-key behind the scenes voting for Trump, or literally didn't care whoever was going to win. They was going to make sure they was going to stay in the pocket of that person. I told y'all. I also told y'all that cancel culture don't mean nothing. You know why? Because I personally don't think nothing's going to happen to Nicki. Look at Snoop Dogg. Remember when they was riding Snoop Dogg about him being at the inauguration, actually performing? Well, didn't Snoop Dogg just do a Super Bowl halftime show or something? Not the one with Dre, but he just did some type of performance. He just did a performance like literally what, last week or so? Help me remember, y'all. He had something red on. Didn't he just do some type of event? Don't seem like he canceled to me. Cancel culture is a joke, and it's selective outrage. Nicki went there saying how, you know, how great Trump is, how great. And mind you, y'all got to remember, and I'm going to keep telling y'all, I'm independent. I know people who voted for Trump. I know people who voted for Kamala. I know people who voted for Jill Stein. Okay? My thing is, whoever you voted for, just stand 10 toes down on your beliefs. That's it. Now, the way that Nicki just all of a sudden creeped out and made it seem like she's now for Trump and J.D. Vance tells me she was down for Trump and J.D. Vance in the first place. Which is quite interesting. The fact that she's Trinidadian, she's an immigrant. I don't know if she was born here, but it's safe to say that her parents were probably not born here and came to America. And she may have been born in Trinidad and came here to America. But one thing about these tethers, and I'm talking about strictly the ones who act like, you know, they're better than Black Americans, or even better yet, when they get here, they now want to act like that they're no longer immigrants. One thing about the tethers, they quickly forget. They forget where they came from, who they are. Now, some people are speculating this is much bigger and there are some high-end politics going on, and why she's moving the way that she's moving that has to do with Trinidad and some other countries. I don't know. What I do know is that at the end of the day, Nicki is not the only one. She's not. Snoop did it. I talked about Beyonce and Jay-Z not too long ago, sitting with the dang on Trumps at the dinner table, smiling, and they all do it. Self-interest only. They do not care about us common folks. They care about their bottom line, and more they're going to continue to show their asses. They're going to continue to do it. Now, again, I appreciate the ones who just came out from the beginning and said, yeah, I stand with Trump or I stand with Kamala, and they stand 10 toes down on it still to this day. The fact that Nicki had no political opinion last year, I don't remember her talking about Kamala or Trump, but now all of a sudden she's at Turning Point USA, tells me everything that I needed to know and what y'all need to know. Now, the reality is that going to be enough for y'all to so-called cancel Nicki? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Nicki will be all right. People going to have selective outrage for a minute, just like they had selective outrage for Snoop, just like they have selective outrage for Beyonce and Jay-Z, and they're going to still continue to buy their stuff. Notice, didn't she just go on tour too? I would say that was definitely something that was planned too. Let me make sure I get this tour in, make my coins before I come out and really tell y'all how I really feel. Now, what really told me everything I needed to know about her is when she said something of the effect that a white girl with blonde hair and blue eyes shouldn't feel bad by her having like blonde hair and blue eyes. And I'm like, when has someone white ever felt bad about being white? Help me understand. Because if that were the case, they would have given up their privilege a long time ago. White people know they got privilege in this damn country, in this world, period. If you feel bad, you only feel bad for a little bit, but you ain't giving up that privilege so everybody can be equal. So when she said some nonsense like that, I said, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And at this point, she gonna do everything she can. So now she is the poster child for apparently representing Black folks, where J.D. Vance is now saying, hey, you don't have to feel bad for being white anymore. You don't have to feel bad. Nicki Minaj is a great example of that. She is our token Black girl. Child. Thank you, Leo. Thank you. Yeah, behind closed doors, they voted for Trump. They voted for Trump. And again, I don't care who you voted for. But don't sit up there and be on some, I'm here for Kamala as a mother and this and that. Now, when reality is they're all playing the field. Most of them got paid to support her. But then at the same time, they don't ever want to just completely neglect the other side, because if they win, they are trying to fit into that position too, because they're trying to make more money and create more opportunities for themselves. I promise y'all favorite celebrities don't give a shit about y'all. I promise y'all. They don't. They just want you to continue to support them so they can make their money. But they don't care. They don't care about the policies and all of the stuff that's going into effect right now that may hurt you, hinder you, or your family. They don't care because it doesn't affect them. It doesn't hurt them. And Nicki Minaj is the same. I mean, I'm sure Nicki Minaj isn't like wealthy like a lot of them, but she got more means than us. She's doing right now what she didn't do with her family. And let's not forget who she's married to. And let's not forget allegedly what her brother and I believe somebody else in her family was accused of. Nicki is trying to do whatever she can to solidify her position, because she definitely is not on the right side of a lot of people in the industry anymore. Now, one thing I will say is I was shocked, but I was very, I don't want to say proud, but I did appreciate the fact that she had no problem coming for Jay-Z. I think she even did a actual song called "The Straw That Broke the Camel's Back," baby. She did a song or something like that. I said, damn, Nicki, she has no problem coming for Jay-Z at this point because apparently Jay-Z owes her money. So I don't know if it's because on that side of the industry, she has completely got blacklisted at this point. Maybe allegedly that now she's going on the Trump side, hoping that's going to help the situation. I don't know. But look, continue to show, I want this type of stuff to be exposed. Don't get mad when it's exposed, y'all. Maybe this will teach y'all, and I'm saying y'all in general, I'm not pointing anybody out, but maybe this will teach y'all to stop idolizing these fools. But more and more people need to come out and let us see who they really are, or how they're willing to be on either side to benefit themselves and themselves only. Here we are about to go into 2026. Trump is going to be in office until 2028. We got a long another 2 years. Like, this man has only been in office. He ain't even been in office. He got sworn back in, January of this year? He ain't even been in office for a whole year yet. And I feel like he's been in office for 4 years already. Because a lot has gone on. And again, it depends on your situation on if it's been a good thing or a bad thing. There are certain people that I know who voted for Trump, and they're absolutely okay with everything that's been going on. Some people regret voting for him. Some people, it really depends on what side you're on. But he's going to be in office until 2028. So get ready, because I feel like more and more you're going to see more people that are going to come, and actually it's more than 2 years. Now that I think about it, it's still more than 2. It's a little bit more than 2 years, but more and more people are going to come out. More and more people, because right now we live in a conservative world, which I don't know if you guys haven't noticed yet. I don't like extremists. So, like, for example, just like when Charlie Kirk was unalived, and I didn't like the extremists on the liberal side who was happy and praising that. It was the same thing with Rob Renner. There were some conservatives, extremist conservatives on the MAGA side that was talking mess. I don't play that. Both of those extremists, like, stay the hell away from me. I don't get down like that. And I don't like extremists on either side. But right now, we are in a conservative world, an extreme conservative world at this point. So again, maybe what has happened before Trump got back in office and while Trump is in office, maybe this will bring more people on the independent side. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get to a point where there is a third party that has a chance to actually make it into the White House. Because what is it going to take? You know what I mean? But this just shows you, and again, just like on the liberal side, as you can see on the conservative side, they will use their tokens. So we know that Nicki's a token tether. And I'm going to need for her to sit up there and stop saying she's this black woman. Just say that you are an immigrant woman that literally has no problem being a token, being a puppet at the end of the day. Honestly, when I was hearing some of the things that she was saying, I didn't even believe half of the stuff that was coming out of her mouth. She sounded very rehearsed. Let's also remember, what was Nicki Minaj's passion before she became a rapper? Does anybody remember? I'm not even I've never been like a big fan of Nicki Minaj. Like, I remember when she first started coming up, and then of course her and Little Kim got into it. But remember, Nicki went to LaGuardia High School in New York City. That is the infamous performing arts school that the show Fame and the movie Fame was based off of. Nicki went to school to act. She wanted to be an actress. So she knows how to turn stuff on and off when she needs to. She knows how to ad-lib. She knows how to improv. She knows how to do that stuff. She was trained to do it at one of the best schools out there. So yeah, you don't really know which Nicki you're getting and what's gonna, but again, that's what a lot of celebrities are. That's what a lot of celebrities are. That's what a lot of social media influencers are. Like, you're not really getting them. You're not getting them. You're getting their representative. Whatever they decide to represent at that time that benefits them. So when y'all be so happy when they throw up their fists and make it seem like they for the people, oh no, they're really not for the people. They are making it seem like they're for the people so they can get money from the people. They don't care. So yeah, so as far as the Nicki situation, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. Like, and again, they're probably gonna go off for a minute, maybe try to get some of her pages down or whatever the case may be. But just like the Snoops, the Beyoncés, the Jay-Z's, the Kanyes, y'all always forgive them anyways, and they can continue to have a career. They can. I couldn't stand Erica with those fake amens every time Nicki would say something. Yeah, and since when has Nicki been Christian? Nicki's Christian? Is she? Because apparently this all started when she was claiming she was praising Trump for fighting for the Nigerians in the Christian Nigerians in Nigeria. Now, a lot of people have been saying there's some big politics behind that too, and that they really don't care about the Christians in Nigeria and what's happening to them. Yeah. So Nicki, I would, as much as I would like to say that she's done, people have selective outrage because there are certain people who do get canceled. It's just not these big celebrities that y'all love so much, because one thing about it, Chrisette Michele, she hasn't been able to get back on her feet since. And all she did was a simple performance at the inauguration, and they literally canceled her. And maybe because she ain't got a certain look and she is not as popular as the Nickis and Snoops and Beyoncés. And that's the reason why she got canceled. But it's always the little people who get canceled. Meanwhile, y'all have selective outrage for a little bit. And then poop, y'all back to supporting them again. Yeah, I've never heard of Nicki being no Christian either. Seemed like, again, remember, she went to school for acting. She knows how to play roles when she needs to. Yeah. But with that being said, you guys, that is my WTF Weekly. Okay. Definitely talked about a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Let's continue the conversation in the comment section. What did y'all think about the stuff that I talked about today? Again, it is my opinion. See, one thing about it, and I'm going to say this in closing. I used to have no problem engaging with people, even if they disagreed with me. But I am learning more and more that a lot of times people just do that because they want a reaction. I ain't giving reactions like that no more. What I said is what I said, and it's my opinion. You can definitely give your opinion, but I'm not going back and forth with nobody. And if it gets too crazy, you're just going to get blocked. Yeah, that's it. Like, at this point, I am going into 2026 with a whole different mentality, because at a certain point, I'm starting to realize most people in this world are crazy as hell. They not sane, and they just truly want to drain your energy. And I ain't got time to be drained in 2026. I got too much stuff that I got to do, too many goals that I'm trying to accomplish. So at the end of the day, though, for my OG crew and my crew who love to just have great conversation, get into that comment section. Let me know what y'all think about Toya's crazy behind, about Elijah Ellis, Keyshia Cole's little brother, about the stuff going on out here in LA with these sons with these so-called mental illnesses, but only apparently attacking their families, and about Nicki Minaj and her wonderful skit that she performed at Turning Point USA. So with that being said, you guys, you enjoyed it, Leo. I'm glad you came. I know that's right. 2026 is fast approaching. Nobody had time for that at all. And I mean it. I don't have time for it. And the thing is, I wish people well, but I don't have time for it. 2026, after 2025 and what has gone on with this roller coaster in 2025, I am sure 2025 drained a lot of us just to even see all of the stuff that was going on in the news. Baby, life is too short. Life is too short, and it's truly about you at this point, living your life to the fullest. Living your life to the fullest. And the last thing you need to do is be going back and forth with people that you don't even know. So with that being said, please like, share, and subscribe, and make sure you hit the hype button for your girl too. If you got a hype, because I know you only can do so many hypes per day, if you can hype your girl up every single day, that gets me in the algorithm so people can find my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.